So it's 2024 in the Low Country. We're so excited about what the new year is going to hold. We're going to talk about the Hangover week and what you can expect in the first quarter of this new year. Let's get after it. All right, Chris. Happy New Year. Happy 2024.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
We made it. It's amazing to me. We think about, everybody gets so excited about the new year, and then the next thing you know, it's like, boom, it's there. It's like just the next day. And sometimes what we talked about in our industry for all these years, especially locally, because, a lot of what we deal with are people that are absentee and buying second and third homes, investment properties and that sort of stuff, or locals are traveling and all that kind of thing, is we tend to see that first week of January is what we've kind of dubbed as the hangover week. And it's just that kind of time where you're kind of coming out of that haze and the market kind of takes a little bit of time to kind of get warmed up, et cetera. But and we expected that. We always expected. Every year we predict that. But I got to tell you, and I think we're going to talk about it a little bit now, is that just like the holiday period where we're telling people don't expect it to be too quiet, here we are in the hangover week, right in the middle of it, and we've already been on listing appointments. We got contracts that are happening. Yeah. We got buyer engagement online, et cetera. And what we wanted to do today is just kind of talk a little bit about that as we're looking forward to the market report we're going to be putting out in the second half of this month. So let's just kind of kick that around and talk about what you're seeing. Maybe one of the big issues that we saw last year was inventory, right? And so buyers want more inventory, sellers want less inventory. I think collectively we do better when we got a little bit more robust inventory to deal with. Yes. What's the good news on that you're seeing?
Well, the good news on that is we are seeing inventory trending higher. Mm-hmm. It's not anything dramatic, okay? It's not like all of a sudden we've got a spike and now we're flooded with inventory.
Right.
But we've been monitoring this on a weekly, daily basis for a very long time. And as you look at that, it is trending higher. And not only is new inventory, newly listed homes and villas, not only is that trending higher, but the overall inventory for sale is slowly building.
Right, so buyers end up having a little bit more to choose from, which makes everybody a little bit more comfortable. And even sellers can understand having a little bit of moderate competition is probably not a bad thing. So you think about, okay, so that's steadily rising, right? And one of the things we talked about too, a couple of videos we said, hey, you know what, folks, don't go to sleep during the holiday period, the last 2 months of the year, because the market doesn't go to sleep. So you were sharing with me sort of what the cumulative under contract home stats looks like right now.
Well, what's happening though is activity is taking place. And we had multiple folks come to us maybe before the holidays and they were just curious. I mean, should we wait? Let's talk about timing. I mean, strategic timing is something that we really focus on a lot with our clients. And we're saying you might not want to wait.
Like a seller client.
Right? A seller client.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even a buyer client. We got 415 homes right now in our local market under contract right now. In the past 2 weeks, have been busy.
Yeah.
Have been busy. We've had multiple contracts put together, and the buyers that are out there shopping, that were shopping these past 2 weeks, they actually had less competition with other buyers. So maybe they had a little bit better chance of getting in there and getting what they wanted.
Yeah, for sure, right? It's like what we sort of advise is like, hey, some people may be traveling, sleeping, or maybe their agents aren't advising them. They're like, oh, it's okay. I'm too busy to deal with this. But if you're focused, like we've had a lot of clients that were focused in the last 2 months of the year, they actually got really good results on that. And maybe tied to that, we talk about some things going up. What's the one thing we want to see going down? It's interest rates, right? Let's talk a little bit about what's been happening there.
Well, interest rates back in October, they kind of got to a point where people were like, wait a minute. The interest rate, the mortgage rates became a little bit of a deterrent in the market.
Yeah, once they got over 8%.
Right. That got a little scary, and that was a new calculation that folks were like, well, time out, I got to put that together and see what that looks like. Fortunately, right now they're down around 7%, but I know you're going to be talking with some mortgage experts here shortly, right?
That's right. So when we've got the market report coming out at the tail end of this month, and we really love to kind of take the opportunity and be thoughtful in the narrative and interpretation of what really happened last year, what was driving the market, what we call steering factors. It's great to look back, but what we always want to do is we always want to look forward, like, okay, what can we expect, right? So So we're sat down with local experts in short-term rentals, long-term rentals, insurance, in the lending arena, and we're talking to them, and we're going to be displaying these videos as part of our market report. All right, let's peel it apart. Let's get deeper into the onion and say, well, what can we expect this year? You talk to short-term rental folks and be like, well, what's the rental pattern going to be like? Because we know we had a little bit of an upset this year with international travel, with cruise travel. So what's the new year, 2024, going to look like? And what's the long-term rental market look like? And in particular, what's happening with insurance rates and interest rates and all that kind of stuff. So we're really wanting to peel that apart and deliver to you guys what you can expect for the first quarter, second quarter of this year as we're looking forward.
We're hoping for good news. I think that's what we're hearing.
Well, it feels like good news right now. So what we just want to kind of share is like, it feels like all of a sudden, despite what has typically been the hangover week, we got tons of buyer activity online. We're talking to our concierge department. We're saying, well, what's the activity been like? Heck, we had about 50% of our average daily volume online still on Christmas Day. Not that everybody needs to take Christmas Day off, but the whole point is that despite the holidays, despite a time where you're expecting people to kind of quiet down, there's activity. And now how we come in this hangover week of the first year, there's activity, and it's coming at us pretty quickly. So it's pretty encouraging. It's pretty encouraging.
It is. We're expecting buyer demand to remain elevated and to keep trending in the right direction. I mean, that's at least what we're seeing locally. It is important to add, though, that nationally, markets are going to be behaving a lot different this year. Some markets are going to be flooded with inventory, is what they're saying. And other markets are going to inventory is going to stay fairly limited. And so that's what we're going to be watching. So regardless, it just depends on what part of the country you're looking at right now.
Little pockets of the market throughout the country, that pixelization component we've always talked about. And so you're absolutely right. But we're feeling encouraged about it. And it would be fun this year. Last couple of years, we've had buyers come and buy into our market just through us from 29 and 30 different states. It's kind of exciting to see whether or not, maybe in 2024 we get 32, 33 states, because this low country market is super appealing as more and more people hear about it, and that word is spreading. So we've got a lot of folks, and maybe that includes you, looking at us from a lot of different areas in the country. So our point is, stay tuned for our market report. It comes out at the tail end of this month. We're working diligently on that. We're going to get you guys some narrative. We're going to get you guys some strong statistics. We're going to get you some video content. We're super excited about what we're doing on that this year. So as always, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.